Hello and welcome back to my channel, and welcome to my channel if you're new. I'm Jahan and today I'm going to be doing a full face of Glossier makeup. I'm going to be using a lot of the products that I bought from my haul a couple of weeks ago, so if you haven't seen that yet, go back and take a look at that. I'm not going to be using all of them, but I'm going to try and use as many as I can. This is going to be my everyday makeup, and every day I don't use everything on my face. But if there are any products that you'd like me to go more in depth in, especially where I've got multiples of colours, I'll share that with you, and I'm happy to do another swatch video separately to that. So before I get started, I have put my skincare on already, which is my vitamin C serum by Paula's Choice, my sunscreen, which I use today, La Roche-Posay Anthelios 50, and I also use the La Roche-Posay Sensitive Fluid Moisturiser. So that's what's sitting on my skin already. It's absolutely freezing outside today. We've actually got frost on the grass and on the cars, so it's the first time that we've had proper frost this year. So today I'm going to start my base with makeup wise with the Future Dew, which is the serum product here by Glossier. And what I usually do is to take one pump and take probably just about a pea size amount, and then I put that on my face. I've got a mirror over here I'm going to be looking at, and I just put that probably across the places of my face that get a bit drier, which would be my cheeks. I can afford to be a little bit more liberal with it today because it is so cold outside and we've got the heating on inside, and heating obviously, well, for some people it can cause drying of the skin. Although I've got very oily skin, sometimes it can actually be oily but dehydrated, so these products don't necessarily make me feel like they're weighing down my skin. And if you can see, it just leaves like a nice sheen across the face, so you could just go out just like this if that's what you like to do. But I'm going to go ahead and use my Perfect Skin Tint, which is their fluid foundation. And it's very liquidy, so you need to give it a shake. And I like to squirt it straight on my face. I know lots of people say you shouldn't do this, but I'm the only one using it, and this is how I prefer to work with it, to be honest. I put more on my cheeks than I do on my forehead. I put a tiny bit on my forehead. My forehead's pretty even. And as I mentioned in the haul video, this product is really just a product to even out your skin rather than to really cover. So then I take a flat top brush, and just gently spread that across my face. Try and get into all the crevices, and then just really sweeping whatever's left across my brows and my forehead. So when it comes to concealing, I do have the Glossier Pop Concealer, which is really quite oily and moisturising. It's in a handbag somewhere, because what I tend to use that for, more so for, is for touching up on the go for a foundation, because as a concealer, unless I'm going to sit there and set it and all that kind of thing, which I'm not going to do when I'm on the go, it just doesn't stick to where I need it to be because it is so oily. I don't know if that's a product I'd necessarily repurchase unless it's for touch-ups on the go. So what I do, although I said this is going to be a full face of Glossier, what I do for concealing is I use my Estee Lauder Double Wear, which is this one. It's one of their iconic foundations, and it's a really thick, long-lasting foundation, so I use it as a concealer, and this bottle will last me for ages. I do use it across my face if I'm going on a night out, or if I'm going to know I'm going to have a particularly long day and be warm, etc., and I'm not going to touch up during the day, I would probably use Double Wear. So I had the colour 4W2 Toasty Toffee, and what I do is I take a small amount on my finger, so about a pea-size amount, and I dab it where I need extra coverage. So on my chin, around my nose, a little bit here on my cheek. If you haven't watched my skincare video, I do have some hyperpigmentation and some post-inflammatory pigmentation, which I'm working on with a dermatologist. So you haven't seen how it's drastically and massively improved, go and take a look at that video. It really goes through all the skincare bits that I use and how I use it in the system, and how she's prescribed it to me. So it gives you an idea of how to work with a dermatologist, and also what ingredients to look for in products if you can't use a dermatologist or you don't have access to one. So what I do is then I let it go tacky on my skin for a little bit, and then I'll take a fluffy brush. So this is probably more of an eyeshadow brush, or it's like a small domed brush here like this, and I will just pat it in and just fluff out the edges, just to make sure there are no lines, and keep blending. Okay, so I know when I'm using this, my concealer's kind of locked in place, because this stuff is really long lasting. It's a matte finish. If you have oily skin, very oily skin, oil will break through and it will settle on your skin, so it won't give you that mask look, but you can also add dimension with other products as well. So that is what I would do for my skin base. I'm not going to powder yet because I'm going to use some other cream products, but I think, as you can see, it's quite a natural skin base that I go for. I don't mind some imperfections coming through. I'm not looking for a perfectly flat skin base. I just want it to look like skin, but glowy skin. So what I would do next usually is my eyebrows. I'm not somebody who spends ages and ages on my eyebrows. I have a natural shape which I'm kind of happy with. I don't like to take too much fuss. So I'm going to use the Brow Flick, which is their felt tip pen liner, and just go through my brows really gently, give it a bit of colour. I do laminate my brows, they're due to be laminated actually. I laminate my brows at home with a kit that I buy from Amazon, and I also dye my eyebrows with, I think it's Eyelure eyebrow dye. I'll have a look and I can link it for you. So I generally do that. I'm due to do both of them, to be honest, so my eyebrows are a little bit lighter than they usually would be. So what I do is I'll just fill them in, probably more just to get some colour, rather than filling in gaps. Just really roughly across my eyes. I also don't get my eyebrows threaded anymore. I used to get my eyebrows threaded. And then I remember watching an old Lisa Eldridge video, and I think I watched it back again, about eyebrow threading, and that with her, also with her models, she'll just take away 1 or 2 hairs rather than go to town. And I found that every time I got my eyebrows threaded, if I waited a few months, then they looked really good, but then on the regular upkeep, my eyebrows didn't look as full as they should do. And if you don't see the same person, it's very inconsistent. And through lockdown, obviously everybody was doing a lot of things themselves. I actually grew to like doing my eyebrows myself again. So I've started doing my eyebrows myself. I prefer them fuller. I have more control over which hairs I'm pulling and that kind of thing. So I don't know if I'd get my eyebrows threaded again professionally, actually. When I did, I went to somewhere local, and I also went to Blink Bar, which are good for initial shaping if you don't really know what you're doing. But I think once you know what you're doing, I'm happy just to do it myself at home. Then I got the Boy Brow, and I've got that in brown, which is the one with a really tiny, tiny small spoolie, and brush that through my brows. And I brush them up and over. When you have your eyebrows laminated, it's easier to brush them up and over and they stay there, which is why I like to laminate my brows. It just gets a bit more length in there, so if you think you haven't got much brow and then you laminate them, you realise actually you've got a lot more hair than you think. I also use the tip of the spoolie just to get a little bit more shape underneath this brow, because this brow is probably, I don't know whether this one needs a bit more help near the front. And that's what I would do for brows. So again, very simple, very quick brows, not too much fuss, even able to do it on camera. And then what I would go and do next is my rest of my face, because I like to have my brows in place just to know where I'm going to put any blush or bronzer, if that's what I'm going to do. And for blush today, I'm going to use one of the Cloud paints. I actually have 6 colours of cloud paints. Look at them here. So I actually have these 6 colours of cloud paints. So I have Spark, which is the poppy red colour. I have Puff, which is the palest pink, cloudy pink, candy floss pink. I have Dawn, which I would say is a true coral. I have Haze, which is, I would say, a raspberry pink colour. I have Storm, which is more of the starting to go bordering on the berry colour. And I have Eve, which I would say is the deepest, vampiest raspberry blackberry colour. I'm happy to do swatches on those for you in a separate video. If you think that'd be helpful, I can do a quick swatch video. But today it is quite cold, so I am going to do a mixture of, I think, I'm going to do Spark and Dawn and mix these two together. The reason why I quite like the cloud paints is because you can create your own colours even though they've got these set colours. So I'm going to take a tiny amount here, and that is really all you need. That tiniest of amounts there. And a little bit of Dawn, Puff. So you can see how pale this is. So it's really like a real cotton candy pink. And I'm just going to mix those on my hand and see what colour that makes. I think it's just going to make a bit of a lighter red. So it's a bit of a salmon colour there that's created. And what I like to do with my face when I'm placing blush is probably place it a little bit higher on the face. So up towards my cheekbones, into my hairline, up to my temple. And I do that on both sides. And this is just to create a bit more shape on my face. Just look in the viewfinder as a mirror. Look at that. A little bit goes a long way. So this is quite a safe product. You can't go too wrong with this. And if you do go wrong, you can just keep blending and blending, and it will come out. It will blend out into nothingness, and you can start again. So now I'm just going to take my fingertips and just pat that in a bit more. So I start the majority of it on that high point, and I just bring it forward a little. And where you place your blush is really going to depend on your face shape and what you're going for. If you're going for something more chiseled, or if you're looking for that sort of fuller cheek, or it's really going to depend on your own face shape. So just play around. There are lots of rules, but try and follow ones that would suit your face. And there, it's a really natural blush. I think it's just a slight glow, and those two colours I think mixed really well as for like a bit of a glow within. And because it's a relatively new product, or one of their latest products, I will use a little bit of Heat on my face just to show you what it looks like. So Heat is their bronzer. It's a doe foot applicator, and it's one of their, they call it a solar paint. I think it's a bit of a bronzer and highlighter hybrid. So I'm going to take that quite high up here into more of the hollows of my face, not using it as necessarily a contour, but because I don't want the bronzer to be the main feature, I'm just putting it a little bit higher, a bit further back, just so you can see what that kind of glow looks like. And then take a bit of that across my nose. So I don't know whether you can see, it's blended in quite a lot, but it just gives like a little bit more dimension to my face. So that's the bronzer and the blush. If I was doing more of a summer look, I'd probably go much heavier. I would go much heavier on this. And I can do a separate look on that if you're in summer now, and you'd want a summer look, because obviously I appreciate we're now going into autumn, winter. And that's what I would do for my face. And I think that's where I would stop with my face, and then maybe I'd go on to my eyes. Now daily, I don't always wear eyeshadow. I only wear eyeshadow when I feel like it, because if I'm just running errands and things, I don't really put on a full face. So this is what I would usually do if I was just popping to the shops or doing some just normal shopping. If I was going into town, then I'd probably put eyeshadow and extra things on. But with the solar paint, what I'm going to do is going to put a tiny bit on my eyes just to tie in the rest of my face makeup. So literally a tiny dot on each eyelid. Blend that in with my finger. And then I'm going to put one of the lid stars on, which I'm going to use today is Bun. So Bun is the more of the antique gold lid star, which is this one. So it's definitely a truer gold, not too bright yellow, but like a brushed gold colour. Put that across my eyelids, and again, you have to work quite quickly with these because they do set down, and once they're set, you can't really move them, which is why they're good for a topper of an evening out or just a one colour eyeshadow during the day. They'll be probably one of the last things that are on your face. And there's the eyeshadow one. And then I'll just go in with mascara. So mascara wise, I use the Lash Slick. Lash Slick is a plastic wand mascara here. So it's one of a quite basic plastic wand, and it's lengthening. It's not thickening at all, which I don't mind because I have quite dark lashes and they're quite thick. But you might want to double it up with something else, or put a eyelash primer on underneath. You can buy those white eyelash primers to thicken up your lashes first. But for every day, just for lengthening, I quite like this mascara. It just darkens up my lashes and separates them, which is really what I want on a day-to-day basis. I don't tend to put mascara on my bottom lashes unless I'm going out in the evening. I find if I blink, that's enough. And that's all I'd do for mascara as well, just one coat of Lash Slick. Again, if I'm going out on evening or I'm going out for dinner, I'd probably build it, and it is buildable as well. So you can get more length the more you build, because it has fibres in as well. And then lastly, for lips, today I think I'm just going to use my new Balm.com in Cookie Butter. It's a brown Balm.com, so all the Balm.coms either come in clear or they're slightly tinted depending on what flavour they are. I think the blackberry one or blackcurrant one is slightly berry coloured. This is a brown one, and it smells like Biscoff cookies, so smells really yummy, and it just leaves a slight brown tint on your lips. It really does smell like Christmas cookies. It's really lovely. And on their website, they claim that it's not shiny. It does leave a bit of a sheen, but it's not shiny like the Glossier lip gloss. It's not going to be a gloss where you're going to think, oh my gosh, my lips are so shiny. This isn't sticky either, so this is really nice though. But it's not shiny like that, as you can see. It just gives your lips a bit of a sheen. And that is really my day-to-day Glossier. If I wanted to go one step further, I would probably powder a little bit down my T-zone with the Wilder. And the Wilder it comes in a range of colours. So this colour is G5 to G7. It's got a mesh to keep the powder in, and I just take a small amount, like a really small amount, just roll it around the plastic part just to even take a bit off, and just powder in the areas where I get most oily, down my nose, just the sides of my nose, a little bit under my eyes. I'd try and leave the tops of my cheeks and things, and the natural shines from the Future Dew and the skin fluid tint, all those things I want to keep, and a bit on my chin. The good thing about the Wilder, it comes in different colours, but it also comes in a translucent if you don't want colour. But the good thing about the Wilder is that it does offer a bit more colour onto your face, because the fluids and the foundation bases are so light that this offers another layer of colour if you want more coverage on your skin. So this is it, this is the final look. So again, very natural, very dewy, glowy, not too shiny. It just enhances your natural features, which I think is the ethos around Glossier anyway. You can layer things up and play with them more and have more colours, and especially with the things like the cloud paints, you can really play with them and have some fun with them. But for day to day, this is how I generally wear my Glossier makeup, in a very natural way. I hope you've enjoyed this video. I hope you found it helpful. I've got some more videos featuring Glossier coming up, some swatches, and a Glossier versus Trini London skin base video, which I'm going to be doing. So look out for those. Please give this video a like, it really helps my channel, and share it with somebody who also loves Glossier as much as I do, or we do. And please comment down below, I love to hear your comments, I love to hear your suggestions on other videos, swatches, all that kind of thing, and I will speak to you soon. Take care.